Burning Abyss, Paleozoic, and Obelisk the Tormentor. Let's get into some cool, crazy decks. Alright guys, so this is a video that I want to do on a weekly basis, sort of taking a look back at all the cool, crazy deck lists that sort of came up during the week that had a little bit of success. There's a lot of channels that do meta roundups, looking at like all the top decks and the rogue decks of the format. Not too many channels that cover sort of the oddball, off the wall decks that sort of came up throughout the week that had some kind of success. So I wanted to have a segment where we talk about those kind of decks. And the first one I want to talk about this week is Burning Abyss, of all things. So a lot of people were really excited when they heard Burning Abyss is coming to the game. Once we actually saw which Burning Abyss monster we were getting, though, we were pretty disappointed with that. But Luke Tyler here managed to hit King of Games with this version of the deck. We have Crane as a huge proponent to try to get out our rank 3s. We're also running a little bit of a wind-up engine here where we can bring out the Rabbit. We're also doing a little bit of a rank-up combo here. We can go into the Giga Brilliance and then rank up into the Digital Bug level 5 and then go into the Gaia here. So, number of different plays we have with that. Quite a few traps. We've taken advantage of Karma Cut, being able to discard the Burning Abyss monsters and gain their effects. One of the ritual spell, but none of the ritual monster, so it's another thing to note there. Also, Needle Sealing is present in this deck, so it's something we're seeing a little bit more and more, I think, throughout this format, as well as Drowning Mirror Force. So something to keep an eye on, but hey, Burning Abyss actually having some success, so well done, Luke Tyler, with that. The next one I want to talk about is KOG Phenom. So this guy has been absolutely farming these little $8 anytime tournaments and just been doing absolutely incredible with them. Just winning one after another, and you can see all of them there. And here's the list he's been doing it with. Now, he only had Obelisk in the most recent one. He wasn't running the Egyptian God in every single one of these tournaments. I think he had an additional Photon lead in most of them. But he did have the Obelisk in this most recent one, and just has been having incredible success with this deck. I mean, just doing tremendous with it. So props to him and all the ones with this deck. It's pretty standard with just a Star Seraph engine and back row, running a couple of the extra ones there to supplement them. Yeah, I mean, he's just having some incredible success with this deck, though, so heck of a job, KOG Phenom. It's absolutely insane seeing those results this week. Alright, another list is a predaplant list here. This one actually got top 8 in the Battle Phase EU by Darakas. Not too much to say with this list. It's kind of like the predaplant list we've seen before, except we have the Battle and Boxer Veil as our hand trap in there now. But yeah, pretty standard. We have the Neos in there. But predaplant is still somewhat relevant. People still having success with it, so it's still a thing. Witchcraft, this deck I want to talk just a little bit about. So Witchcrafter, after the nerfs had kind of fallen out of the meta for a bit, it had just recently been starting to see a little bit of play again with balance, but now balance has been nerfed, so Witchcrafter has to figure out what to do next. And Draw Loan is the skill that we see used with this here. If you don't know what Draw Loan does, or Lucky Loan, I didn't know either. I had to look these up myself. But Draw Loan allows you to add, as the skill, you can add the Lucky Loan, this spell card, from your deck to your hand at any time. You just can't conduct your normal draw phase on your next turn. So anytime during your turn, you can just add a spell card to your hand. You just can't draw next turn. So with Witchcrafter, it's obviously amazing getting a spell to your hand whenever you want. You have to run the brick, though. The Lucky Loan doesn't actually do anything for you. It just does stuff with Fortune Fairies, so it's not really beneficial in any kind of way, other than the fact that it's just a free discard for this deck. But it's hugely important to be able to get a spell whenever you want to your hand. And we kind of nullify the needing to discard with your we nullify not being able to draw on the next turn with the Offerings to the Doom, right? You can activate that, and that card's not going to let you draw on your next turn either, but because of the skill in that, they don't stack at all, so it's just one turn, you're missing out on your draw, but you're still getting that spell to hand, you're blowing up a monster with that, so with a really versatile spell card in that sense, so yeah, just really neat idea and concept with that. So yeah, glad to see Witchcrafter having a little bit of success. Again, you saw there's 2 different people who did it this week as well. So yeah, Witchcrafter, maybe this is the way to go with the deck in the future. So well done. Alright, YuGiOh. Now this is a deck that has actually had a little bit of success the last couple weeks. I think there were 6 or 7 people this week alone who hit King Games with it, who posted on DLM. So YuGiOh is actually pretty good right now. It seems like a bunch of hand traps. We're running the Drowning Mirror Force of traps. It's a similar strategy to what we've seen from YuGiOh in the past. It's doing really well right now. We're taking advantage of that Destiny draw skill with the Battle and Box Veil, the same way the predaplant was earlier. Luna Lights is doing the same thing with that deck. So yeah, it's something to be aware of. That Yosenju is relevant right now. It's not the most popular deck. You're not seeing it too much in tournament, really. It's at 1 or 2 every event, but it's doing pretty well. It's having some success. You should be aware of it. Alright, next I want to talk about Paleozoic. So this is MonkeyWarlock at King of Games with this deck as well. We're basically kind of using just the Water XYZ engine here with Deep Sea Diva and the Heavy Infantry. I get the pop off of like Bush Dweller and using the skill the same way that you would with the Water XYZ deck. But the Paleozoic trap cards, they're also water monsters when you bring them back to the board as monsters, so you can take advantage of the skill with them as well, giving you free fodder for XYZ summons. So Paleozoic's taking advantage of the new water skill and doing, pretty well here. It's kind of interesting to see this. Obviously, they still missing a little bit of, some other support that they would like to see come out, especially a particular Toad. But yeah, having a little bit of success here, and that's just kind of interesting to see. Drowning Mirror Force in this deck as well. We've seen that in a few of the decks today. Drowning Mirror Force is making a comeback right now. Not too many Karma Cuts either. Seen definitely a shift in what trap cards people are using as the metagame shifts. Alright, so I have a couple of different Noble Knight lists to talk about here. So this one is the skill is Equipment Exchange, where you get to shuffle 2 cards back in your deck. One has to be an equipment spell. Add 2 cards from your deck to hand, so a little bit of consistency there, running 25 cards in this deck. This one got top 8 in the Battle Phase Rising Sun. I actually also finished top 8 in this tournament as well, using Water XYZ. This was another top 8 list, so there you see the extra in the side deck as well. So Noble Knights obviously kind of fell off the map a little bit when the balance nerf came through, but we've seen a couple people this week having some success with them. So Noble Knight players are doing tinkering, and figuring out the best way to move the deck forward, and this is one way that someone had success with it. Another one, this is Losprin, and the skill he had was Field of the Warriors, so giving a little bit of an attack boost. He's only running 21 cards in this list, so cutting it down just for the consistency. He got top 32 in the MCS 40 this past just a couple days ago on Saturday. So if you notice here in the extra deck, he has the Neos. He was actually side decking into. I don't have a side deck, unfortunately. I have to figure out how to get that. He was. I don't know if they posted it yet, but he was actually side decking into the Neos Fusion. So he would bring out the Elemental Hero Neo sponsor off of that and side deck into it. So another way to play the deck. He had some success with it. So yeah, like I said, Noble Knight players tinkering with the deck, trying to figure out the best way to move forward with this. Another really interesting deck this week, Familiar Invoke. This was MistaSnacks reaching King of Games with this deck. So we're taking advantage of the star drawing. Of course, anytime we XYZ summon with that thing, we get to draw a card. Being a spellcaster, you get to summon all the special summon these other little creatures from your hand. They provide different attributes for your invoker play. So we have triple needle sealing here, main decked here, triple needle sealing. So between the needle sealing and being able to drop Purgatory on your opponent, anyone who just flood the board with 3 monsters, you're just going to blow them out. You're going to completely blow up their board, or you're going to drop Purgatory and just obliterate them. So this deck really does a good job of punishing your opponents. Of course, we have the Witch of the Black Forest here to help search the Invoker. We also have like I said, the star drawings to draw. So neat little engine here, little rank 4s to go with it. So yeah, pretty cool concept here, and a lot of ways to dig for your Invoker with the skill as well. So, and then we also wanted to talk about an Infernity deck really quick. This was just a interesting little concept here. We're running the Into the Voice to draw cards. We have the Drag Down to the Grave here. And then we're also running Card Advance. This is another card, I wasn't sure what it does, but it allows you to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and just put them back in any order. You can also do a Tribute Summon. It's not really relevant though. You mainly just are looking at the top 5 cards of your deck to dig for whatever you need to be able to combo off. So it's just a little bit of a, I guess you can call it like a turbo version of this deck, where you just got a lot of ways to either draw cards or then look at whatever, look at 5 cards in your deck and figure out what you need there. So, and then Duel Links are gonna have 20 cards in your deck. That's a lot of your deck to be able to look through. You're gonna be looking through more than half your deck, or through half your deck, with that. So. And then Shell, the Ghost of the skill we're running with this. So, yeah, another way to run Infernities. Always love seeing Infernities having a little bit of success. And that's it for the decks for this week. So, if you guys have any other decks or any things that you guys wanted to see this week, leave them in the comment section. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this every week. So, love seeing all the different crazy cool decks that come up in tournaments everywhere. So, if you see anything really awesome that you'd like to see me cover in a video or make just a full-fledged deck profile on, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching so much. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, and you guys have a wonderful day.